Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to be talking about child exploitation with a leading national expert. That story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, during my 25-year news career, I unfortunately covered many stories of child sexploitation, but suddenly it's become very mainstream. It's on the news all the time, and somebody who knows that all too well is LisaBeth Thomas. She spearheads Not on Our Watch Texas. She joins us from our Austin studios. LisaBeth, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate it. I'm excited that you guys are in Austin now.
Absolutely. Well, tell us more about Not on Our Watch Texas.
Not on Our Watch Texas was born 3 years ago. I went to the Governor's Commission for Women and asked for the 10-year anniversary of Texas Women in Business. I'm the founding president, what we could do to make an impact in Texas. And at the time she said, well, you know, Texas is #1 in trafficking. And I was like, no, what are you talking about? What do you mean we're #1 in trafficking? I mean, we love being #1 in many things, but not that. And then we were going to launch Not on Our Watch Texas, but the pandemic happened. And since the pandemic, what we found is that the reports on the cyber tip hotline have increased to 567% of child online exploitation. So we then decided that our focus needs to be on online exploitation, because this, Jeff, is the new white van. When we were kids, it was watch out for the stranger, don't take candy from strangers, which is still true. But right now, the predator increasingly is here on your child's phone or laptop.
And we're going to pull up your website because it's a beautifully done website. And as we scroll down your website, I want to talk about, is the message getting out to parents? Are parents finally listening that this is not happening in some third world country? It's happening right here in the Lone Star State.
Absolutely. Sound of Freedom was an amazing movie. And again, but people thought, well, that's over there. I was talking to Kevin Metcalf, who had started a task force going in to get kids. And he said, so many parents think it's runaways. Oh, my kid didn't run away. My child's in their bedroom. Well, the predator is in the bedroom with them. And so we really wanted to get this message out. That's why we're calling it Not on Our Watch Texas. We want every parent to know what they need to look out for. So on September 7th, we're doing that. We have an amazing panel coming together. Mrs. Abbott is kicking us off, giving our opening remarks. And then we have a panel of experts that are going to tell parents what questions to ask, what a predator looks like, what their children should look out for. I mean, it's going to be incredibly impactful. And then we have Elena Cardone flying in from Miami because she is like, this is my passion. We're in Texas, but I want to take it to Florida. This is a message that every parent needs to know.
And LisaBeth, I know you go by LB. How do these predators find these children?
Fine. They are online. They're searching. They're watching their Instagrams. They're watching their feeds. A friend of mine, or a woman I know in Lubbock, was saying that her niece started an Instagram. Her 9-year-old niece started an Instagram account. And she was like, oh, no. And she was, no, it's just for my friends. She said, well, let's look at your friends. So she picked up her phone, went to her Instagram and said, now remember, the girl's 9. She said, now this 55-year-old gentleman from Ohio, is he your friend? No. Well, what about this gentleman who's 47 from Iowa? Is he your friend? No. And she went through the entire list and only 3 friends were her friends. So what's happening, and kids are just jumping on and saying yes to whoever wants to follow them.
Talk about the grooming that happens, because these predators are very slick. Sometimes the initial conversation starts out pretty innocent. What do they do?
Well, they watch the feeds, and some are gamers. They're playing with the kids. They're saying that they're 13, 14-year-old kids when they're actually men, older men and women, but they get in there and they befriend the kids. One of the things that I was told to watch out for, especially for the young ones, that if they put a sad face emoji or they say, I'm so mad at my parents, they talk, the groomer's waiting. Sometimes they have 200 monitors going. I mean, sometimes they're watching 200 kids at a time. And the minute they see a way they can get in, oh, why are you so sad? I think you're so beautiful. What's going on? Oh, I'm so mad. And they start the conversation. They think they're kids. They think they're talking to somebody their same age when it's not. And that's what's heartbreaking.
We have a graphic that shows all kinds of horrible statistics. Like you said, that Texas is prideful about being #1, but not in statistics like this. Tell us, why has it gotten so bad, and why has it gotten so bad in Texas?
Well, our border is one of the reasons. Houston is the #1 city in the country for trafficking. And why it's so bad is because online, it's so accessible. When we were kids, we didn't have 24-hour news, and we didn't have anywhere that you could talk to your friends and be online. So as wonderful as online and technology and the internet is, it's also creating this problem. And kids are so insecure at certain ages. Bullying happens, sextortion happens. And I was gangly and tall and not the prettiest girl. I know that's hard to believe, but I wasn't. And if somebody would have paid attention to me at 13, 14, I would have been all over it. I wanted that attention so badly. So I think it's scary. And so many parents are not aware of it. So that's why we thought we've got to do something about it. We've got to let Texans know. And then we want to take it nationally. We're going to go to Florida next. We're going to go to Louisiana, Mississippi. We're going to take this to every state. So every parent knows and can be aware. One of my favorite slogans that I heard from a gentleman who lost his son to sextortion said, we can't protect against what we're not aware of. He said, if I would have known this was something I needed to be worried about and talk to my child about, I would have done it, but I didn't know. And at 4 a.m., he shot himself because of sextortion. He said, I would have done something. So that's why we want to bring that. We want Texans to protect their kids, and we want everyone to protect our kids. Yeah.
LB, you mentioned it a little bit, but we're going to put up the flyer that you sent us about these 2 back-to-back events. One is happening in Lubbock and the other one is online. Tell us more about what parents can expect.
In Lubbock on the 6th, they're having a panel at the Cactus Theater, which is awesome. The Cactus Theater is giving them the theater for the night. And they have an amazing panel to address online exploitation in Lubbock, in their city. And then Austin, we're having a live event from 1 to 4, but because of limited seating, we're having it being invitation only. We have Mrs. Abbott there and we have our panel, but because so many people wanted to come, we decided we would do a live stream. And that's what's so exciting about it. The live stream is from 2 to 4. You can go to notonourwatchtx.com and click on that live stream. We have watch parties set up across the state. We want moms whose kids are in school to go online and watch it. So I talked to someone the other day in Georgia. They said, oh, we've got a watch party set up in Georgia. So we would love for everybody to go and share it. Share that flyer. Go to our website, share the flyer so that we can get this message out.
And Lisa, we've got about a minute left. This is such an uncomfortable conversation for so many parents, and we like to think that our children should just be children and enjoy their innocence. But you're saying this is a conversation that should be happening in every home in America.
Yes. And I think the most important thing is open communication. When your child comes to you and says, I posted a photo. And right now, Jeff, this is staggering. All 13 and 14-year-olds, they think it's normal to post and share nude, self-generated nude photos of themselves. That's 34% of all 13 and 14-year-olds. That's a major statistic. But if your child comes to you and says, I screwed up, I sent a picture out, or I think somebody is talking to me who's I shouldn't be talking to, don't shut them down. Don't jump on them and say, what? I told you not to. Make that communication open and let your children know that they're safe talking to you about anything, because you being open and being there for them is going to keep them safe.
LB, thank you for everything you're doing to protect our families. We're going to end with the website, which is notonourwatchtx.com. LisaBeth Thomas, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. I hope to see you there.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.